to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 167. Just a short little update on my knee incident that's going on. I do appreciate all the prayers and kind thoughts that were sent my way. It helped. I've had arthritis in my knees since I was 14 years old, and it's been progressively getting worse. Last summer, I had a torn meniscus in my right knee, and they had to actually remove part of the meniscus, and apparently what happened is that pretty much did away with what little bit of like buffer or cartilage there was between the bones. So there was a significant increase in arthritis from last year to this year, and my right knee is now bone on bone. And then on top of it, I have bone spurs. So Monday I came home from work, we went out to dinner, I got out of the car and could barely walk. Just that fast, it was like it locked in place. So, the orthopedic surgeon said that there are bone spurs and severe arthritis in the right knee. So they gave me a cortisone shot to hold me until I can have knee replacement. So I need to lose about 25 pounds before they will do the knee replacement. So it does give me a goal. So I'm expecting you guys to help me stay accountable there. So I think each week what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you how much I've lost that week. So that way, if I know I have to be accountable to you guys, it kind of makes me a little more conscious of what I'm eating. So actually, so far, I have lost 2.2 pounds just in a couple of days. So I'm tracking everything I'm eating and all that kind of fun stuff. So, so anyway, that's the update on the knee, but right now it is feeling much, much better because of the cortisone, except that I fell on top of it. Today, after the cortisone shot, I took a step I went through a door and didn't realize there was a step down, and I stepped down with my bad knee, which then gave out, and I fell onto the concrete. I did not get hurt, other than my pride. I really didn't get hurt. Thankfully, I just kind of like a slow motion dramatic roll onto the concrete. But only person that saw me was Dave, so that was a good thing, because otherwise it'd been totally less than attractive. But anyway, everything is okay. I'm doing well, and we're headed for knee replacement surgery. I'm hoping later this spring. I would like to have it done this spring so that this summer it'll be feeling better. So now let's get started with the real podcast. I have a finished object. I finished my hat that I started last week. This was a super quick knit. This was some of the yarn that I received on day 25 of the Yarn Advent Calendar from Karen of SSK Yarners. She does have an Etsy shop. I will put the link to it down below if you want to check it out, where she sells some of her yummy yarns and other notions and all kinds of fun stuff over there. So anyway, the pattern that I did, it was a free pattern. It's called Shavogan's Beret. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right, but here it is. And it is by Cascade Yarns. They recommend a Cascade 220 sport weight. This is a DK weight. It worked. I did cut it down in size a little bit. I cut it down by 2 repeats, simply because apparently I have a small head, and it's still a little big on me. I hope that doesn't mean I have a small brain contained inside said head. But anyway, here's the beret. So it's not as big and slouchy as it could have been. This is what it looks like in the round. And the pom-pom is also from Karen. So there it is. You can see some of the stitching. At least it was very, very easy pattern. And now I will put it on me, who doesn't wear hats very much, but this is one I could wear because the band here is fairly loose. It's not tight. Like I said, I cut it down by 2 repeats, just because I was afraid of it being entirely too big. So here's what it looks like on. I could wear it like this, which is kind of slouchy, or if I wear it like a true beret, it would be more like that. So yeah, I'm real happy with how it turned out. I will take it off because it'd be too warm inside the house. This is like really soft. It's fake fur, but it feels like rabbit fur. So, yes, so I finished that. And I actually have a good bit of yarn left because I did cut it down in size. I have this much left. This was from 3 different hat blanks. So you can see it's kind of crinkly here because you unravel the blank and you knit it or crochet it as you're doing it. So I actually have a little bit left to do something else with. So I might make like a headband or something with this because there's certainly enough left there to do that with. So that is my finished object this week. Then I have a semi-finished object. I started these last week. This was a pattern. It's called After Show Slippers by Dimitra Bagri. This was it is a pattern available on Ravelry, I believe. And this was in a Knit Crate box a couple months ago. And there you can see them. They kind of remind me of little Peter Pan slippers because they have a little flap that hangs over here. So I have one of them done and the other one is about halfway done. So let me show you. Now I made the smallest size and I actually made it a little smaller. If I made these again, I would add a little bit to it. I have small feet, along with a small head. I have a small feet, just a big body. Yeah, I have small feet. I wear a size 7 for the most part, which is good because it fits in my mouth better because apparently I'm always sticking my foot in my mouth. But this is the slipper, and here's the little flap I was talking about. So here's the front of it where your ankle would go, and it has like these little, like I said, little flaps that are on it, and it has kind of a pointy toe. Once you put your toe in it, it doesn't look pointy anymore. But yeah, it is very, very simple, real easy pattern, and it's all single crochet. I can't say too much about the pattern because it is not a free pattern. I can say that it is made up of a bunch of squares done in single crochet and then you put them together. So anyway, there it is, and this is what the back looks like. And I did modify the pattern just a little bit. So that is my one half of a finished project. And then the second one the second slipper, I have the bottom done and I have the toe section done. So I just have the heel, the wrapping around the back of my foot, and then I have to sew it all together. So this will probably be finished tonight because there's not that much left to do. So that is my crochet pattern. Then I have one other work in progress that I have going on, and that is my cabled cardigan. I have gotten up to, I did 1.5 inches this week. You can see where my progress keeper was right here. So I've gone up here. I did not work on this as much as I would have liked to because I wanted to get the hat done, and then I got interested in the slippers. So I can only do these cables for a while before I have to kind of put it away and go, okay. But here's the cabling on the front. And I have started the decreases for the armholes right here. So there it is. This is a free pattern from, I believe it's Burnett. The pattern is no longer available. So if you are interested in the pattern, just send me an email at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com and I'll send you a PDF of the one that I've got because I don't know that they're in print anymore. So if you are interested in doing that, just let me know. So what am I wearing today? I am wearing, this is the Yexa shawl. It is by the Yarn and You Girl. And I will take it off and show it to you. I wore one of the same pattern at Christmas time and showed it. That was 2 different colors of silver. It is a 2-color shawl. However, this one I did in 3-color, and this is done with, it's a yarn called Koi Goo. So I did it in like fall colors. And it's an elongated triangle shawl, so it's not real deep. A lot of times triangle shawls are as wide as they are deep. This one is wider than it is deep. And this is probably one of my favorite shape shawls between this or the crescent shawl if you're going to wear them around your neck. So I just think they lay nicer, and even around your shoulders, I just think these are one of the nicer shaped shawls that are out there. So again, this is by Janine McCarty, who is the Yarn and You Girl podcast, and it's called the Yexa shawl. So I have some future plans regarding some crochet and some knitting, so I thought I would share those with you because as soon as I finish the slippers, I want to get started on this next crochet pattern. Actually, it's a pattern I made and designed a few months ago. It has been out to the testers for a few months. They have come back with their suggestions, and I've changed the pattern to adjust for those corrections. And I do appreciate all of you who tested for me on this because this was my second crochet design. So I really appreciate your input and your willingness to spend time doing this for me. So this pattern is called the Crochet Wrap. Now I named it Crochet because crow for crochet, and fade because in the knitting world there is a very popular style called fading. I actually did some of it on this shawl where you change colors, and instead of having an abrupt change, you alternate colors, like stripe it until you get to the next color. So it makes them blend together. They kind of fade into each other. And that's very popular with knitting right now, but I had not seen it done with crochet. And I thought, well, why not? So that's where the word fade comes into it. So it's called Crow Fade, and it is a center granny square, and then both sides go out from the granny square and come to a point. So I have made it the one time, and my testers have all made it, but now that I have made all the corrections to the pattern, I want to go back and crochet it one last time, looking at all of the corrections and make sure that there's no glitches in it anywhere, that I haven't made any mistakes in the corrections, like, cut and paste and forgot to paste or something like that. So what colors am I going to do it with? You all know I love purple. So it's a 4-color shawl. So I am doing this, for the most part, this is Ella Rae Classic Sport Weight. So the original was done in a, I think it's done in a DK weight. I'm not positive. It's done in Cascade Sun Seekers. It's heavier than this, but I'm going to use the same size hook, so I should be good. But here's the first one, and it is a deep purple. I don't know if there's a color. It just has a number for the color. It's color number 19. It's a deep purple, like a grape type of purple. And then there's this kind of heathered, lavenderish purple. And then there is a medium purple. And then the 4th color that's going to go with it is a white. I tried to find another purple that I had, but none of them really looked quite right with it. So it's going to be a white. It's not a white, like brilliant white. It's a kind of a creamy white. So those are the 4 colors that are going to go in it. I hope they're showing up well. It's colors I will wear, so that is my upcoming project for that. I also am going to be taking all of the yarn I got from my Advent calendar yarn that I did a swap with Karen of SSK Yarners, which, like I said, is where I got the hat blank. That was day 25. But for days 1 through 24, I have little mini skeins, some of which are her yarn, some are from other places. It was a fun thing to do because we got to, some of the yarn she sent are companies that I've never tried before, and hopefully vice versa for her. And plus I got to test out some of her own yarn, which is really nice. So I'm going to design that into a pattern. Originally I was going to do the hitchhiker shawl, which is kind of more like a shawlette. It's not real deep. But when I looked at the pattern, it's not, I've got more yarn than the pattern would call for. I could make 2 of them. So I thought, well, why not instead design my own Advent shawl? So I am going to design one the shape of this. It's going to be an elongated triangle is the shape I'm going to go with. And I'm going to use my Advent yarn. So Wednesday's video will be relatively short, but it's kind of fun because Kim Brame and I met at the coffee shop on Thursday night, and that was last night for me. You're watching this Saturday. I'm filming on Friday. So anyway, we met there last night, and I brought all of the Advent yarn, and we laid it out all the way across the table at the coffee shop and mixed together the colors to see what order, between the two of us, what order we thought that they would go together well. So, and we drank some really tasty teas while we were there. So, yes, make sure you check out Wednesday's video so you can see what all the yarns look like and the order I'm going to do them in. So those are some upcoming projects. Now it's time to take a look at what you all are making. And there is a couple things that are interesting in this week's show and tell that I wanted to point out. First off, there is Kim Garber, who is Appalachian Sock Company. If you remember back toward the end of November, Kim Brame and I drove out to West Virginia where she lives, and we did a video on her doing the hand cranked socks on a vintage sock machine. She does have a website. I will put it down below if you want to go over and check out her website. She also hand dyes yarn, and she can do sock orders and all kinds of things. So, and I've bought some of her yarn, and it's gorgeous as well. So anyway, Kim Garver, who, like I said, who is Appalachian Sock Company, she has some pictures of some socks that she has made this week because she is on a challenge to try to make 365 pairs in a year. So in other words, a pair of socks a day. Now, I mean, she's not hand knitting them. She's using a machine. But it still takes a lot of skill to be able to do that. She even does the heel on the machine, which I've never seen done before. So it's really fascinating. But the thing I thought was really cute, there are 2 pairs of socks in there that have little scalloped edged cuffs on the tops of the socks. They are adorable. I really, really like them. So anyway, go over, and when you see the show and tell, you'll see them. They're just really cute. The other thing I wanted to point out over there is I'm not the only one that did an advent calendar. Yoka did an advent calendar, but it was it was 12 days of Christmas. And in her case, it wasn't yarn that was sent to her. It was fiber that could then be spun. So she received 12 days worth of fiber that was then spun into mini skeins. So she has some pictures of that over on it'll show up on the show and tell. If you want to see more of it, though, you can go check out her blog, and I will put the link to that one down below, too. Now, she does live in the Netherlands, so there is it's not in English. However, you can hit the Google Translate button, and then you can read her blog, which she covers some really interesting topics and techniques and things. So that's an interesting one to go check out. Although I did have to laugh at Google Translate because sometimes Google does not translate things quite right, which we found out when some missionaries were over at our house and she and I were cooking together and we were using Google Translate. Some things made absolutely no sense. And this happened with the Translate when I hit it for Yoka's blog. She was talking about fiber and spinning, and Google Translate translated it to wicks and spiders. So I'm not quite sure where they got, I think they thought spinning web, and so they translated it to wicks and spiders. So anyway, if you would like to go over and check out Yoka's blog, like I said, she does a lot of interesting techniques, and she does some dyeing at her home. She does a lot of spinning, things like that. So yeah, go over and check out her blog. So now that I've told you a little bit about what you're going to see, I'm going to let you see the footage for our show and tell this week. if you would like to submit something for show and tell, you can do so over on the Facebook page. Just tell me a little bit about it. The Facebook page is Katrina Knits. I tried to make it Katrina's Creations, but I couldn't because it recognized it as a business, not as a person. So, yes, you can go over there and you can just post a picture, tell me a little bit about it, and just make sure you say it is for show and tell. So I know that it's okay for me to share. And if you don't do Facebook, you can send all the information and the picture to me at my Yahoo email, which is KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com, because we all like seeing all of your projects. And I mean, some of you are totally amazing in what you come up with and the amount that you come up with. So, yeah, the rest of us would like to drool through the projects that you're making. So, please send submissions. We love to see stuff. So I only have one acquisition, and it's not something I bought this week. It is the Knit Picks catalog came in. Yes, it's the Knitter or Crocheter's drooling book. You know, when I was a kid, I used to love it when the Sears catalog or Montgomery Ward catalog came in at Christmas time, and my brother and I would go through the kids section and circle all the toys we wanted for Christmas. Yeah, this is the adult version. Yes, so I looked at this sweater on the front, thought, wow, that's gorgeous, and then thought of the cable sweater I'm making now and thought, there is just no way. Look at this thing. I love the neckline on it, but yeah. So you can go over to Knit Picks and check this out for yourself or get on their list. But they show some up close of some of their patterns, some of their yarn. I think this is gorgeous. Just some of their color choices, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, here's Stroll. This was on sale last month. Was all their Stroll yarn, and there you can see what it is. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And they also, Knit Picks now also has a division called We Crochet. They're interchangeable as far as the yarn goes, but there's patterns over there as well. So when you hear me talk about in the Come and Get It section, Knit Picks, it also applies to We Crochet. So speaking of Come and Get It, it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section today, we have over in Annie's, they have an easy crochet crusher hat. I know a lot of you like to make hats, and I saw this hat, and it's one that you can kind of ball up, but it springs back open. I just thought it was kind of neat. I'll stick a picture in so you can see what it looks like. And it ranges in price from $7.99 to $9.99 for the pattern. It depends on whether you do a download or a digital version. So anyway, it's called the Easy Crochet Crusher Hat, and that's a crocheted one. So then I went over and I looked in their knitting section, and they have a Bellamy hat and cowl set that I thought was really pretty. And it is $5.99 to $6.99, depending on whether you do a download or a digital version of that pattern. So that is Annie's. Over in Bluprint, they are running 60% off of their Highland Superwash Sock Twist. I actually have some. Is this it? Yes. This is what it looks like. It's put out by Cloudborne. And this one's gray. It is super, super soft. This particular color is called Stormy Skies. It's a sock weight and 80% superwash. It's 178 yards or 163 meters per skein. Anyway, they have it for 60% off. It's normally $6 a skein. You can now get it for $2.40. So it's like 2 pennies. It's like 2 cents per yard, something like that. So yeah, pretty good. So they also are offering a sale. It only runs through tomorrow, which would be Sunday, the 12th. So, or Monday. No, it runs through Monday. Okay, it's on sale through Monday the 13th. It is 40% off of 3 items. So if you buy 3 items, you can get 40% off. You do need to use a coupon code CRAFTWITH40 to get that discount. But again, it ends on Monday, the 13th, January 13th. So that one's one you got to jump on if you really are interested in it. Consumer Crafts has Lily's Sugar and Cream, which they always have on sale. Well, not really on sale, but they just have the best price for their Lily's Sugar and Cream, which is your dish rag yarn. They're the cheapest one I've found. They run about $1.97 per ball. So that is Consumer Crafts. If you're into planners or journals or binders, type of thing like that, which I do use all the time, I'm very much into, I like using planners and organizers and things like that. I drive Dave a little crazy with it, but I like doing it. Anyway, Create for Less is running a sale on all of their planners, journals, and binders right now because it's the first of the year, first month of the year, and everybody's into reorganizing everything. So the Dollar Tree has their wool yarn, the same as what I've been talking about before. They're gray and white, 100% wool, and I believe it's 106 yards per skein. You do have to buy 6, and it's $1 a skein. So, and it's actually really nice. I mean, it's not as soft as merino, but it's not scratchy either. I was very impressed with what I got. So I bought it in the gray, but they do carry it in gray and white. They also carry it in red, but you have to order a large case, like over 100 skeins. Nobody needs that much yarn. But the gray and the white version of it, you just have to buy 6. They also carry some other ones over there too, like a lot of Vanna's yarn, like Vanna's Choice, and things like that as well. Just be aware that you do need to buy it by the case, so that number can vary on how many skeins you have to buy. But otherwise, it's a good deal. Knit Crate, which should be coming in sometime this week, for my January box. Anyway, Knit Crate offers 20% off of your first month's subscription box. You do need to use a coupon code KCreations20 in order to get that discount. Knit Picks and We Crochet, which I already showed you the catalog. Yes, the goodie catalog. Yeah. It's fun just to look at, just to see some of their patterns, because even though you look online a lot of times, the colors aren't always as accurate depending on your monitor, where these you can see exactly what they look like, and I don't know, they're just fun to drool through. But anyway, yes, Knit Picks and We Crochet are offering 40% off of their favorite crochet kits. So it's only in the crochet section, but they're off of their favorite crochet kits. So if you click the link, it'll take you over to it and you can take a look at it for yourself, but there's no coupon code needed. They've already been marked down. Leisure Arts has, I tried to think of things, each week. I don't want to show the same stuff over and over again for these different stores, but I know a lot of you do charity knitting and charity crochet. So I actually found a couple of each. So, I found one of each. So in the crochet section, I found Charity Guide for Crochet Hats. It's $9.99, and there are 20 projects in that book. And it's all different types of hats that are done in crochet. And then in the knit section, I couldn't find one on hats, but I did find one on prayer shawls, which a lot of churches and organizations make for people who are going through a tough time. And that has 15 different projects in it. I've actually checked this book out at my library before and looked through it. It has some beautiful patterns in there. And it is $7.99. So that is Leisure Arts. Lion Brand during the month of January is offering 40% off of their yarn and kits. You do need to use a coupon code JAN40 to get that discount. And Ice Yarn, as usual, has, closeout yarns, garage sale yarns, Tuesday special yarns, too many to mention, it's like totally overwhelming, but there's lots of stuff over at Ice Yarns. If you watch The Secret Yarnery, she buys all of her yarn almost exclusively from Ice Yarns. So if you like some of the things you see over on her channel, you can get it through this link down below. So the links to all of these sales, all of the companies are down below. There's lots of things down in that link box. If you hit the show more, it drops down. There's all kinds of stuff over there. If you want t-shirts or sweatshirts or mugs or totes that have crochet or knitting things, sayings on them, that's down there too. So, yeah, lots to check out down in the down bar. So that is it for this week's video, but make sure, like I said, you tune in on Wednesday, because Wednesday you're going to see what Kim and I came up with for my Advent shawl that I'm going to be making. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and I will see you on Wednesday.